welcome to Let's Get Growing, and it's Jo Swan here, the educational gardener from B.F.G, and we are at the end of, it's the last day of September today, and it's a little bit different, the weather's a bit different than the last video we made, which was about 3 weeks ago, in which we had like a mini heat wave going on. And today's not like that at all, and it's back into woolies, and got my welly bobs on. So we're starting to look ahead to sort of the winter months, and also to sort of the next growing season. So I'm going to start by looking at the packs, this week's packs. So to start with, you've got a lovely Angelica plant. So if you don't know Angelica, it's a herb, and there's a drawing of it here. So it's a biannual, so if you grow it this year, this autumn, and it does well over the winter, then next year you'll have these lovely sort of umbelliferous flower heads, and this is the sort of seeds forming on it. It's quite a sort of statuesque plant, and you can grow it in big pots, but it does like quite a lot of moisture, so the important thing is to not let it dry out. So the first thing we're going to do is have a look at our Angelica, and it's a nice strong plant is this one, grown from our own seeds that we collected from plants in the garden. So we're going to see if it needs repotting, and it's not desperate, but I am going to repot it because I think it's ready. Nice healthy plant. So I'm going to get the next size up pot, and then I'm going to fill it about a third full. Put my plant in the middle. I'm not teasing it out because it wasn't root bound. Put my compost in around it. Press it down a bit more. Put my label back in it. That's all I need to do with that one. And then the next thing you should have in your pack, so this is lettuce, and it's called Winter Marvel, and it's a lettuce that I got from the Real Seed Company, and it's specially designed for, it's like a cold resistant lettuce, and it's from France apparently. So it is hardy, but it's probably not fully hardy in frost. So if you're going to grow it outside, you're probably going to need some horticultural fleece to put over it. I think what I'm going to do with these is probably grow them in the polytunnel here over winter. But the first thing we need to do is to prick them out. So I'm not planting them out just yet. I'm going to get them hopefully to be nice, strong, healthy plants, and I'm going to do that by pricking them out into modules. If you haven't got one of these trays, you could use little pots, or even cut toilet roll tubes in half. So I just want dipper, so I'm going to start by tipping them out, just gently easing them apart. I'm just using the end of a spoon to do this. So you see, I'm holding it by the leaves, and I've got this nice, long, well-developed root system. I'm just going to put one into each module. These ones are a bit diddy, but I'll try them. Okay. And I'll put a label in. winter marvel lettuce. And then the final thing you should have in your pack is a small packet of Agridolph long pod broad beans. So again, these are from the Real Seed Company, and they're winter hardy sort of broad bean, which we did try. Some of us grew some last year in pots. Mine weren't brilliantly successful, so what I'm going to do is start them off probably a bit earlier this year, and I'm going to do them into modules. You could do them into small pots. You've got 6 seeds. I'm going to start them off in here, and then I'm going to plant mine out in the ground. And they didn't do very well at my house because there's not very much natural lighting, so I think they're going to do better at B.F.G. So anyway, if you fancy having another go, if they weren't very successful last year, I'd still have another go. So I've filled my tray up. The seeds are quite big. I'm just going to dib a little hole half the way down, and then any big seeds like this, I usually plant them on the sides like that to stop them from rotting. Doesn't matter which way up, they'll right themselves. It'll probably take a few weeks to germinate at this time of year. So the idea of this is that we'll overwinter them, and then we'll get an earlier crop, which hopefully they won't be as besieged by black flies as some of the later crops get. So got my label. So these ones just need a water with a fine rose, and then we're going to have a little look back on some of the things we did in previous weeks. So this is my flat leaf parsley plant, which I repotted, which is looking very nice. So I'm going to have a little look. So I think that does need, I would put that into a bigger pot, but I don't think I've got any to hand, but I'll do that later. And there is my landcress plant, which hasn't done very much, but you could start picking off some of these and eating them, and it'll encourage a bit of new growth. And then here's my cabbage, which is looking a little bit sad, and so I would either put this in the ground. Some of you might not have ground to put it in, so yeah, it's very root bound, so I'm just going to put it in a bigger pot and then we can see how it does. It's a bit of an experiment. So I'm teasing this out here because it's quite root bound. I'm just going to put a bit of compost in the bottom. Okay, so that's my cabbage plant, and then we'll have a little look at some of the seeds that we've done. So I think we did Jacob's Ladder. Well, they're not ready to prick out yet because they haven't got the true leaves. So we're going to leave these a little while longer until next time. And then these are the Nottingham catchfly, which are ready to prick out, because you can see with like this one here how it's got multiple leaves. I'll take one out and show you. So it's tiny, so I'll put it in either a tiny pot, or probably what I would do with these is, because they are quite tiny, I'm going to do it in these little modules, and there's a lot of seeds here, so if you're in the same position you might want to just take some out in a pot and pass them on to somebody else. So I would do the whole tray of them, and I think that's it for this week and last week. So we also, last time we did some cuttings, we took some cuttings, but I think it's a little bit too early to be examining the cuttings just yet, so I'm just going to leave them be probably for another couple of weeks before we examine them. But what I did want to show you today is how to propagate strawberries from runners. So we're going to go outside. This is our strawberry plants, and we did grow some on Let's Get Growing last year. So I know not all of yours survived, but some of you, those of you who did, probably people who planted them outside, you might have like what's happening here with ours. So this is how strawberry plants like to propagate themselves. They're called runners. So you see from the main plant, we've got this long stem coming out, a bit like what spider plants do. And then here we've got a new plant here. So we've got a new plant here. So you can see this one's trying to get down there to get its roots down. So there's some here that have actually got down to the ground and they've started to form some roots. So they're really easy to take. So it's a good thing to practice on in a strawberry plant, because you should get some success. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and propagate these and leave them attached to the parent plant until the roots have taken. So I'm going to get a small pot of compost, dib a hole in it, and then I'm going to choose a nice one. That one looks like a good one, and it's got a root system already, really. There's not much I have to do on that. So then I'm just going to pop it in there. I'm not going to put it too deep, but I do want it to kind of stay in there. Press it down, put a bit more compost in there. And just the important thing is to press it down. You can, if you wanted to spread them out into the ground, you can just peg them down, sort of with bits of wire, or you can try tent pegs maybe. So that one, I'm just going to leave that one in there. And I'll do another one. Oh, there's a strawberry there, look. It's alright, October nearly. See, this one hasn't got much of a root system, but I'm still going to do that one because it looks nice and healthy. And bob that in there, press it down. Oh, it didn't want to stay. And I just took it in there next to the other one. And then we can return to these next time and see how they're getting on. So, yeah, that's it. And happy gardening, and remember there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. So get round to work and get out there, and let us know how you're getting on. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.